Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Swiss Army Dan coming at you with another Swiss Army knife video. Today I'm going to talk about the Wenger soldier knives. And I wanted to show you guys a couple new acquisitions here in the collection and then just kind of have a little bit of discussion and point out some interesting differences and stuff I found in these knives. So we'll start here with this Wenger. It's a 1951 model, and it's the 1954 variation. And I think that variation is this rivet was like a little bit smaller. The gauge of this metal here, I don't even know what to call that rivet or whatever. It was just a little bit smaller. So this is the 1954 model. It is stamped with the 1954. And they made them like this for a few years, and then they made the Grylon scales that I guess went up into the 60s. But you know, it seemed like even the ones before this, the 1891 model, weren't that different from this. You know, they look pretty similar. I think they had black scales and maybe there's other variations. And I think there's about 3 different variations in this knife. But I found this one, you know, from a fellow collector that lives in Europe. I think it's so interesting, the stamp on this knife. It says Wenger and Knox, which, you know, I have to assume that Wenger was like, man, Victor and Knox has got a nice ring to it. Maybe we should try that strategy on our name. Wenger and Knox works, right? But you know, they didn't do it for that long, so I don't think it stuck around. And maybe Vic was like, "Hey, dude, why are you trying to bite on my style, bro?" But I'm not. Again, I'm not trying to take away from Wenger. And you know, this knife is solid, man. It feels good in the hand. It's got an excellent snap. It's got that old style awl on it, which is super, super cool. It's like streamlined with the knife. Super sweet, you know. Got this old style can opener that's pretty sweet, pretty slick. And they changed over to the new can opener in 1961. So here's that, and then this old style screwdriver with a wire stripper in it. There's the wire stripper there, cable scraper, wire stripper, whatever you want to call it, and the screwdriver. So yeah, man, really glad to add this knife to the collection. It's in pretty darn good shape for being a 1954 model. There's the Waffen controller stamp on it. See if I can get that in focus. But that's pretty cool, huh? Little WK there. I'm noticing, like on most of the ones I see, half the stamp is like, you know, the stamp is really shallow on one side. From all the ones I've seen on this kind of wood fiber scales, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, this is like a fiber. It's not real wood, but I think it's kind of made to look to have like a grain in it. But yeah, it's like some kind of plastic composite or whatever. So that's cool. That's the 1954 Wenger and Knox. And I'll keep that blade out just so I can compare these stamps. Next is a 1965 red soldier. They only did this red for a few years because I guess, you know, the red doesn't age as well. It comes off, you see, just like the older Pioneers, the Vic Pioneers did. But this one came in pretty darn good shape, man. Not too much wear to the blade. There's the stamp on it there. Wenger Delamont, very simple stamp there. Now look how small the 65 is compared to this 54. It's like totally big difference. This looks closer to, you know, the more current Victorinox stamps, I think. But yeah, it's super tiny on that 65. Still don't have a Victorinox from, you know, the 60s. But I bet it's bigger than that. But yeah, this is, I mean, it's the same tool set. You got that cool Swiss pat on the can opener here. It's the same tool set as, you know, the current Pioneer or Soldier or not current soldier, but the 61 to '08 soldier. So, you know, nothing changed, really, except like the weights, some stamps, like the color. The way they did this cross here is different. See, it's kind of like a big chunky cross there. And then the next change was like this. It's pretty much the same. This is a Vic, but the Wengers look the same way. They went to this silver only, but I think it's the same stamp and crosshair. So yeah, that's the 65. Next in line in my collection is a 89. We'll compare. I think these stamps are not going to be too far away from each other, but yeah, the 65 is definitely smaller. They're both about the same depth, I guess, but they definitely did change, you know, the way they make that year stamp, and those 24 years. I'll hold up to 54 here. There's the 3 stamps there. And we got so far. And this 89, it's got the blank Waffen controller. They stopped stamping them in 88, as far as I know, from what I understand. And here's the front stamp on that one. They changed to this and then stuck with that for a while. I'm not sure when that change took place. I would assume maybe late 70s, early 80s. I'm not sure what the 70s stamps on these Wengers look like. I'll just check the Vic. Yeah, the Vic is just like, you know, they stay pretty consistent with both sides. Wenger, they couldn't make up their mind, it seems. Next is a 94, and you see the stamp gets really shallow there compared to everything we've seen so far. Hold it up against this 89. You know, it's really shallow in that. You'll see that trend continue into 99 here. Both those are the same kind of stamp. And I'm not sure if they're doing that with a laser or what, but it's pretty darn shallow. But I mean, you know, it's there. You can read it. I don't think it really takes away from the knife. Here's a 01, and I guess that's probably about the same as that 99 there. No, the 01 is deeper. The 01 is deeper. You can see there. It's a little deeper than that 99. Next, as a last act of defiance, they said, you know what, we don't need a stamp. And then they started selling this as the, don't quote me, 1.07 or 70.01, you know, SI soldier's knife, you know, after the contract for the ALOX knives ended with the Swiss military. So again, I'll just you know, I was wanting to show you guys all the variations in that stamp. I've got some Victorinox here from a few different decades, and I'll just kind of show you. I think they stayed pretty consistent on theirs. First we've got 77 and 84, about the same, right? And 10 years later into 94, not much of a difference, right? Look at those 4s, they're like exactly the same. Then all the way up until the end, here's 08. So, you know, Vic, they stayed pretty consistent. Pretty darn, maybe not exactly the same, but pretty darn consistent. So, take what you will from that. I appreciate you guys watching. Those were my Wenger soldier knives as of summer 2017. I want to encourage you guys to be kind to each other. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I appreciate you watching. Swiss Army Dan is out.